Hi everybody, this is Mr. McDonough and this is a tutorial to explain to you how to use Pixlr.com. Pixlr.com is a web-based application. You can use this on any device that connects to the internet, including your Chromebook. I've got Pixlr bookmarked up here. If not, type in pixlr.com and I'll bring you to the website. Pixlr has two versions. It's got Pixel E and X. We're going to use Pixel E. Pixel X is very similar, but it doesn't have all the features. If you are new to Pixlr, you will need to sign up for an account. Simply go over to login and there'll be a sign up button. Okay, as I'm already signed in, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. The way I do that is over here, create new. It's asking me over here what kind of file I want to create. For example, if I wanted to create something for Facebook, it'll set up that file in a certain format perfect for Facebook. A lot of the assignments I'll be giving you here in class will not be for Facebook. They'll be for manipulating photographs for a particular outcome. So what I'll ask you to do most of the time, and what you should default to, is go to full HD. Now it's important to give everything a name, so I'm going to give this a name Test 101. Over here we can see the width and the height. These are the amount of pixels that are going to be in your picture. So think of a picture as made up of a bunch of pixels. Let's jump over here for a moment. Let's find a nice image of a dog. Ooh, let's see if we can find a cute dog. Oh, look at that cutie. Okay, if I was to zoom in on this dog, okay, eventually, what might we see if I keep on zooming in and in on this area here? The correct answer would be boxes of different colors. A picture is made up of a whole bunch of boxes, and each one of those boxes is a different color. And that's what makes up a digital photograph. We call each one of those individual boxes a pixel. If this image here had, let's just scroll up here a little bit. If this image here had 1,000 pixels in a row in height and 2,000 pixels going across here, that would be a very high definition picture, and we could zoom in a long way before we started seeing boxes or pixels, and we call that pixelation. Now on the other hand, if this picture only had 200 pixels going up and 400 going across, this would look very pixelated and not great. And if I hover over here, we can see that this picture has a resolution of 1,100 pixels going across and 628 pixels vertically. So when we're setting up our canvas or our image over here, we can decide how many pixels we wanted to go across and how many we want to go up and down. In general, this default will work absolutely fine. So we've got a test, we've got a name, and we've got the amount of pixels. Let's hit create. Wow, okay. So here is the piece of software, and this piece of software was chosen because it mimics an industry standard piece of software called Photoshop. Photoshop is used by various people in industry to create all kinds of digital artwork. Unfortunately, this is a free online tool that mimics Photoshop really well. Over here we can see there's lots of tools, but the first thing we'll do is we will start off with an image. So how do we get an image in here? Well, let's start off by over here, the plus sign. We're going to add an image. Let's see what it comes up here. Okay. Here we go. Here's the Bayfield High School logo. Could not open the file. Oh wow, I'm not sure why that happened. So let's try something else. It could have been the file format, or it could be the file was too large. I'm guessing that file was too large. It was a very high quality image with lots and lots of pixels. Okay, so back here we go. We've got this image. I'm using the wheel on my mouse to zoom in and out. If you only have a trackpad, you can use your two fingers to pinch in and out. However, having a dedicated mouse with a wheel will make your life so much easier. I'm going to continue with this tutorial, presuming you have a mouse. If you don't have one, you can email me. We can see what we can do to get you a loaner and see if you have one at home. Okay, let's see if we can stretch this image out a bit. As I hover over these corners, these handles, I can click and drag. And you'll notice that the ratio of the height and the width stays consistent. Now, if I press Shift on my keyboard, I can now adjust the height or the width of that image independently. On the keyboard, you can also press Control Z or Z, and that'll undo. Control Z works on Windows and Chrome OS, and it's a great way to undo a mistake you make. Okay, so here we have our image. Cool. Let's go see if we can put a dog in here. Let's see if we can download this dog. Okay, so we're going to go to Save Image As. I'm currently working on a Windows laptop. If you're working on a Chromebook, this will be slightly different. Okay, so we're going to save it as a dog. There we go. Okay, let's go back into Pixlr, and we are going to add a picture of a dog. Dogs are cute. Okay, let's see where I've saved it. I'm going to guess I saved it in my downloads, and let's see if we can go dog. Nope, didn't save in there. Didn't save in my pictures. Let's do a better job figuring out where I saved it. Save image as. So it looks like it was defaulted to save on the desktop. Let's change that. So let's change that to save in downloads, and let's call that dog. Okay. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. That's quite acceptable. Okay, let's go add this dog. Okay, go to my downloads. Let's search up here for the file called dog. There we go. Okay, we've selected it, and now we're going to open. Cool, so now we've got this dog, and we've got the Bayfield High School logo. Hey, what might be fun is to change out the Wolverine for a dog. Not quite sure why you'd do that, but let's just have some fun with this. Okay, so some things to understand. Over here we can see we've got what we call a layer, and this layer is called dog. And then we've got a separate layer, and this is called logo. Note that this layer is on top of the logo. If I click and drag, we can make the layers change their order. So what I want you to think about is panes of glass. And I want you to think that every layer is a pane of glass. So on this layer, let's turn off this other layer. And we do that by ticking this checkbox over here or unclicking it. So right now the only pane of glass, or layers we call them, that is visible is this layer here that's called logo parentheses small close parentheses .png. This pane of glass we can see has got a picture, the BHS logo on it, and part of that logo is white. This layer here, let's turn off that layer, and let's select this layer and make it visible again. This layer here, we want to put it on top of our other layer, but we just want the dog. We want to get rid of the background. So let's show you how to do that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the layer of the logo. Now check out all these tools. There are so many tools over here and these work well. They don't work as well as Photoshop. However, Photoshop is a very, very refined piece of software. You can get an educational license for, I believe, currently it's $20 a month. And it's a subscription service. It's wonderful, but you can't use it on your Chromebook. You need a dedicated computer to run it. So right now, this is a great alternative. Okay, so this icon over here, if we're in that mode, we can click on images and we can adjust them. I've already done some of that. Over here, we can simply select an area. Now, these black and white lines, these are called marching ants. And right now I've selected all of the pixels that are inside here. And if I, let's zoom in, let's just zoom in here for a moment. We talked about pixels earlier and here they are. So boxes of individual colors. Right now we've selected all of these pixels. And let's talk about this checkered area over here for a moment. This checkered area represents, on your pane of glass, there is no pixels. So that is transparent. So we've selected all of this transparent area and all of these pixels. Now on my keyboard, I'm going to press delete. I'm going to press delete, not an image layer. Interesting. Okay, what's going on here? It is visible. Let's figure out what the problem is here, guys, because you're going to run into a similar problem, no doubt. Okay, I'm not quite sure what the problem there is. Okay, some things on the keyboard that's good to know. So we have Control Z I spoke about. Right now I've selected this area. If I press Control D, D for Delta, excuse me, what just happened? Let's go back into here. If I press Control D for Delta, then that deselects whatever you've selected. Okay, so again, I'm selecting an area of pixels, and if that's not the area of pixels I wanted to select, I can press Control D, and that deselects that area. Okay, what if you don't want to have a square area selected? What if I wanted to delete all these pixels in the background? Let's see what tools we have available to us. Okay, so I'm going to click the lasso tool. With the lasso tool, I can draw an area, close it off. It's important to close it off. And then I'm pressing delete on the keyboard. Ooh, problem was we weren't selected at this particular layer. Select delete on the keyboard, and that deleted all those pixels selected on this layer. Okay, that's good, but we can do even better. Okay, we can do a polygon. So if you had a shape that had straight edges, you can use this polygon version to select all those. And again, I'm pressing delete on the keyboard and it's deleting all of those pixels. Okay, they're really great tools. What I like to also use is, let's see if we can find it over here. Polygon. Do excuse me, I am not a wizard on this. Magic Wand, here we go. Okay, so Magic Wand is pretty spectacular and it works really well on Photoshop. It doesn't work the best here, but it should get you what you need done. So I'm selecting the Magic Wand and I'm selecting just here, okay? Now what Magic Wand does is it selects the pixel, or it identifies the pixel color that I've selected by clicking, and then it also includes all the similar pixels around it. Now if I press delete, we can see I've got rid of the background, which is super cool. I'm going to press Control D to deselect. Let's try that again over here. So I'm going to select this pixel, and the magic wand has also grouped all the other similar pixels together, and they're all grouped together, and I can press delete on the keyboard, and there we go. We now have the background deleted. Now we can see over here we've got these brief outlines, and that's because of the deleting I did earlier on. So it's not perfect, but we are going to work with this. Now let's have a look at our logo. Okay, so we've got the logo in the background, but I'm going to stay on this layer with the dog, and I'm going to press Ctrl D, deselect. I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back to this tool over here. We can now change this up here. Okay, there we go. Bayfield High School's new logo is a cute dog. So that's a really cool tool. Let me show you around some other tools. One of my favorite tools here is the clone stamp. So we're going to make sure we're on the dog layer. Let's hide this background. And let's say we wanted to have some fun with this. So we're going to use the clone tool, and I'm going to click here in the center of the eye. And after I clicked, you can see that my icon has changed. I'm now going to click up here, and what we're doing is we are copying all the pixels and we are pasting them. So we now have a third eye. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's try that again. We're going to start that again. Okay, let's get some eyebrows. Okay, yeah, there's the eyebrow I want. And oh, see the size of my cursor? It's really big. I don't want it that big. So let's drop it down. There's all these presets over here with different shapes. I want to drop it down to, let's go 10. Okay. And let's get this eyebrow. Oh, I've just made a mess of that. Oh no. Do you remember what tool we used to do undo? That's right, Control Z. Okay, what if we wanted to do a nose? It would be the same thing. So I'm clicking off there and clicking back to the clone stamp. Click, and where will we put the nose? Oh, why not? Let's put it down up here. Okay, see if we can trace this. Again, having a mouse is extremely useful in this situation. Let's bring this size of my paintbrush up. If you are using a trackpad, you'll find it difficult. So if you can, went a bit too far up there. If you can, use yourself a mouse. Okay, that's a fairly funky dog. What I'm going to do is I'm going to include a tutorial how to use what these tools are and how to use them. But here's another tool that I like to use, and that's the heel. Okay, now let's just say this dog, let's find something we want to get rid of. Let's just say we want to get rid of this eye here. The healing tool, let's get up here, is really clever. It's going to delete all the pixels inside, and it's going to use the pixels surrounding it to fill in the deleted pixels. So I'm just going to click here, and look at that, the eye is gone. And what it's done is it's taken all of these pixels to fill in here, kind of make an educated guess. This works really good on small things. So let's see if we can get rid of, so we've got some blemishes there, or I'm not a dog expert, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but let's just say we wanted to get rid of some of these pixels, and let's just make this a little bit bigger. On my keyboard I'm typing in the number. Okay, so I'm going to click here, and voila, we are getting rid of some of these blemishes. So professionally, let's get rid of this little blemish there. See what I'm talking about? Professionally, you might, a lot of artists will use this maybe on the covers of magazines, When we see these people modeling different products or clothing, so on and so forth, they often look absolutely perfect. And that is not because they are perfect. It's because people are paid to come in with a software such as Photoshop and delete anything that the editor believes is not required or they don't want. I've got personal views upon this that I'm not going to share with you. However, I'm showing you what happens in industry. Okay, that is the healing tool. We can also do things like put on some text over here. Oh, let's make sure we're on this layer. Okay, text. Do you want to add a new layer? Sure, let's do that. Okay, so we can do this new layer called awesome. Okay, let's just do that. And again, we can put that on front or behind other layers. So remember, Photoshop, and in this case, the version we're using is called Pixlr. It's all about different layers, and we can manipulate those individual pixels in each layer, and we can also manipulate how those extra things that we're doing, if they're in front of a certain layer or behind a certain layer. Okay, I hope you guys had fun and you learned something.